Hi everyone, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Ian, and along with my wife and family we're members of King's Church in Warrington, but we're currently serving out in Macedonia as missionaries. I want to read to you today from the Bible, and I'm going to read something that's probably quite familiar to a lot of people. It's the time when Jesus met Zacchaeus, and you can find it in Luke chapter 19. It says, Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but being a short man, he could not because of the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this and began to mutter, he has gone to be the guest of a sinner. But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, look, Lord, here and now I give half my possessions to the poor, and if I've cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount. Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save what was lost. Now you might be wondering, why have I read you something involving lots of crowds when in this season of life we're not going to be spending time with lots of crowds? Well, I think there's 2 things that God wants to reveal to us through this today. The first one is this: Jesus notices you. Maybe you've clicked on this video today because you want to find out a little bit more about God. Maybe the circumstances today have caused you to want to question, is there a God? What's this about? Does he care about me? Well, I want to encourage you today. Jesus notices you. He knows who you are and he sees you in your circumstances. If you're a follower of Jesus today, and I also want to encourage you with that same message, Jesus notices you. He knows who you are. He sees you, and you're not just mixed in with a crowd. He notices who you are. The second thing that I want us to consider from this is that sense of expectancy. See, I believe when Jesus walked down that road, he was expecting to meet with somebody who wanted to meet with him. And the question is, as we go through our daily lives, are we expectant? Are we expectant that God would want to use us? Are we expecting Jesus to use our gifts and our abilities to be a blessing to others at this time? Last year we had a visitor here in Macedonia, and he came for a long weekend, and this particular person had been a Christian for many years, and God speaks to him a lot through dreams. And on this particular occasion we were doing some street evangelism, and a couple approached us and said, we've had a dream and we think God wants to speak to us through it, but we don't really understand anything about that. How amazing that the one time this conversation happens, we have somebody with us who God speaks to through dreams. You see, I believe that God has given every single one of us a unique set of gifts and a unique set of abilities to be used, to be a blessing to others and to help others to see Jesus. And so whatever context you're in at the moment, maybe you're staying at home all the time, maybe you've got a big online community that you're connecting with, or maybe you're just speaking to a handful of neighbours and checking that they're okay. Be expectant, because I believe that God wants to use us in this time. So to remind you, Jesus knows you and he sees you, and we can be expectant that he wants to use us. So thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing you when we get the opportunity to.